Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now we were hoping we'd be able to do this live reaction to the St Johnstone game live. That's not been possible due to not quite having the Wi-Fi strength. However, we are obviously recording this. You may notice we are not in our usual surroundings, but today we're at the wonderful Bar Bacchus. Stevie, talk them up.
They're a great bunch of lads and lasses who have, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, everybody who watches this channel, you might think that this lighting is magic and all that, but it was all done at very last minute, wasn't it, Hamish? Yeah. Tell the audience who sorted the venue out at the last minute.
What do we think of the game the day? I felt it was Stevie, by the way, but yeah, you did well. Take your wee moment.
I'll take
your moment in the sun.
I'll take my win, thank you.
Right, people have probably already turned off, so let's chat about the football. Celtic 2, St Johnstone 0, 3 2-0 wins in a row for Ange Postecoglou's Behoys. Gigi and JJ doing the business today. I found that one out myself, lads. Pretty pleased when I noticed that. Euan, immediate thoughts on today?
Really good, really comfortable. I thought defensively, I didn't think they threw anything particularly dangerous at us. I think we managed to keep them nullified throughout most of the game. I think the defence is coming together in a really promising way, and we took advantage of some mistakes. And sometimes that's all you need to do in Scottish Premiership. It's just about taking advantage of opportunities when they come and getting through the game comfortably. So yeah, dead happy.
Nullified. What a word. What was your thoughts?
You're waiting for me to be negative here. I'm not going to be, actually. I was very happy that it was a comfortable win. I felt St Johnstone were negative and came to spoil the game. Celtic, it was a hard shift for a lot of Celtic players to break that down, but they did it. And we've seen Celtic teams in the past who would have struggled against that type of team. We didn't panic, we didn't look flustered at all. We were patient a lot today. And this Celtic team rely on a lot of other teams like making mistakes, and that's what happened with the first goal today for GG. One mistake, we capitalised for it, and then you knew St Johnstone weren't going to come back in the game, and that's all you can ask for. I think we suffocated them because that's what they tried to do to us, and then when we scored the goal, we did it to them, and they couldn't handle it to the point where they lost the discipline, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I think it's a good point you make. It was their first mistake in the match that led to that first goal, actually. I had that thought as well. And I think when you make teams defend, they can always make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And I think Celtic are doing that quite well at the moment. The other thing that struck me at the game today was, I'm assuming there's not going to be many St Johnstone fans watching this. I don't want to slag them off too much. They have to do what they feel's right to get a result at Celtic Park. It's a tough away game for them. But I did feel they were really, really negative today. Even when we got that opening goal, they still had 11 men behind the ball. 11 men in our final third, at all times pretty much. And it was only, I think, in the last 15, 20 minutes, the 70-minute mark, when they, I think, put Stevie May on. They added another striker in as well. They went two up top, I think I'm right in saying, and they kind of asked a few more questions of us. But I think that's going to happen a lot this season. Ange's team, I heard Marvin Bartley talking the other day, and he said, the fear factor had gone last season. Coming to Celtic Park, there was no fear, and he said that it's back now. And I think we're going to have a lot of teams are going to come to Celtic Park and are going to play like that. And it's difficult for fans to watch, I think, because it sometimes looks like we're quite pedestrian, and it's like, oh God, are we not winning 1-0 yet? There's folk are looking at the clock, but I think the support kind of stuck with the team today.
Absolutely.
And hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Getting that first goal is so crucial in these games because opens the match up.
Definitely, and that's the point of the high press that Ange Postecoglou was trying to has successfully implemented. If we put enough pressure on teams, they're going to make mistakes. I thought tactically, I thought Ange Postecoglou played it absolutely brilliantly today. I think he knew that Callum Davidson, not any relation, was going to set up a low block today, try and frustrate us. He's got like a mad brow. Don't do that. No, I've lost my train of thought now. That's so rude. No, I thought what we've been better at the last few games, especially against Motherwell and Ferencváros, obviously, is we're winning the ball back in our own half and doing something progressive with it, which I think happened a lot today. So it's not just about the high press, but the high press also works. So when you've got both defence doing as they should and the attack going right at a pretty good St Johnstone defence, I would say, generally speaking, over the course of the last couple of seasons. It worked brilliantly. And I think this was always going to be... Tuesday was such a high-energy game. The tempo of it was so frantic for the majority of it. I think this was always going to be a bit of a, let's just try and make this simple as possible. And I think Celtic did an excellent job today.
Key performers from today, Euan, start with you. Who would you pick out?
It's kind of a boring choice probably, but I would go with Carl Starfelt. I think, picking a defender after a victory is normally quite a conservative choice, but I did think he was absolutely brilliant today. I didn't feel at any point that Keane was going to get past him, or that Stevie May later on was going to get past him. I had absolute confidence on him on the ball. I cannot remember seeing Johnstone getting beyond maybe 25, 30 yards. I'm trying to think of examples of them doing that. I can't. His position was fantastic, and his passing to Ivanovic I thought was also really good. I just thought he had a really composed game, and that's a couple in a row now. And I think he gets a lot of stick for his maybe first couple of games. But he's really come on to something under Postecoglou, playing a completely different style from what he's used to, and you can sort of see now why he's an international defender, I would say.
You still get the odd. It wouldn't be a Carl Starfelt game without having the odd moment where your heart's in your mouth. And he had, I think, one in the second half, but I think if he can cut them out completely, and he is getting better. I mean, when he first arrived, it was basically every time he got the ball, you felt a bit nervous. I think that's 3 pretty good games he's had in a row now. Certainly the last 2, there's signs that he's turning into a centre back that can play it at the level Celtic need him to. But also the relationship between him and Carter Vickers is coming on a good bit. I think Carter Vickers is a cracking player. I really do. Yeah. He's not flashy. He's not particularly quick either. But nothing gets past him. Probably in a similar way to Bobo Baldi, the legend himself. There's certain similarities there in the way they play. They're just huge. I mean, as I say, not great on the turn, but when nothing's getting past you, you kind of don't really need to turn.
Yeah, I think Carter Vickers has been brought in at the right time as well.
Definitely.
It's been an excellent signing, and I would say he's probably brought out the best in Starfelt too. It's a wee bit harsh though, because I thought Stephen Welsh was performing okay as well this season. Don't think he really didn't do too much wrong, but at Celtic it's not a case of you can just be okay and you just got to be comfortable with that. We do have to always continually improve and upgrade. And Cameron Carter Vickers is no doubt an upgrade on Welsh. And Welsh's time will come again. He'll have to slot in at some point when there's an injuries or when the 2 guys at the back need rested. And if he takes his chance, great. And who's to say that Cameron Carter Vickers won't be in the sidelines if Welsh impresses as well?
Does Julian get back in that team?
That's a really good point.
Not right now, no. I mean, the 2 defenders.
Not right now because he's still injured.
Why though? But the two defenders that are playing there now, and I've been a critic of Starfelt, as everyone on this wonderful channel knows. But I've got nothing to. The last 2 games I've been really impressed, and I've got to say fair play to the big man. And you thought about even when Julian's back fit, and we're all fans of Julian in here, but. Certainly with that defence, the way they are now, you bring in Julian and you put him in there, the lack of understanding, the communication's all gone, the rapport between them's gone, and Julian has to get to a level where he's comfortable with it. In my opinion now, the 2 defenders that are there shouldn't be getting moved out just willy-nilly, unless there's a major injury or there's a suspension or anything. Other than that, you keep it as it is. We've got to keep a very settled backline, and if you're wanting to win games and you're wanting to progress, it's about stopping the other team scoring, and that backline are doing a fantastic job at that now.
Totally agree with you, which is a shock, to be honest. Who's your player of the match?
It's JJ, everyone. Josip Juranovic. It blows my mind that we have got a 26-year-old Croatian international, and he's still to hit his peak. He's a brilliant player to watch.
He's still playing his right position.
And he's playing at left back, and he's performing like that. He's great, and watching him is a joy. He's so calm, he's composed, and he brings a real assuredness to that back line. If you've got your full-backs there and you're seeing the ball put out to Juranovic at left back, it's not his natural position. He's never ever seems like as if he's flustered in the ball. I think I've said that a few times now, but he's not, and he just brings a real calmness to that team. And if you're doing that for the back, then it will progress through to the midfield, and the rest of the team pick up on it. And there's such a confidence around it when you've got a player like that. And it's not even that. You look at his experience too. He's played at the top level for Croatia with some right big players: Perisic, Modric, guys at the back.
He keeps Vrsaljko at the team for Croatia.
Vida, he plays alongside Vida at the back. He's learning for guys like that. He's playing alongside guys like that, and that can only benefit the Celtic team who are learning from guys like Juranovic.
I think there's so much more to come from him as well.
Yeah,
the one thing I would say about his performance today, and I thought he was really good, but when he's playing left back, he doesn't have much of a left foot, and everything he does, he's cutting back the way. He never goes to the byline. Imagine this guy playing at right back.
It's got to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to pick out Gigi. Some may say that he wasn't particularly
flashy.
well, flashy is one way to put it. He wasn't really in the game too much. I think if you were to look at how many touches he actually had, you'd probably be kind of at the lower level in terms of players on the pitch. But, you know, big home debut, we know how quick new Celtic strikers need to score goals, and he's probably only had a combined 50 minutes or something on the pitch leading into today, but I already felt today really had to get off the mark, as daft as that sounds, and he did. I thought he was really good. The touches he had, he really holds the ball in well, uses his body well. We saw that more on Tuesday, and the great sign today was one chance, and he took it brilliantly. I think it's a better finish than he'll probably get credit for, because the ball, it's a good ball from Ralston, half volley, but it's high, and he just smashed into the net. But the main reason, that celebration, lads, a knee slide.
Yes, I love a knee slide. Incredible.
Right over to the standing section where I was, he ran right to me, did a big knee slide. The marks were there for, well, they'll still be on the pitch when a guy that size makes contact with the grass. But brilliant, great to see him get his first goal. One thing I wanted to raise with you guys, what's the long-term picture for Celtic striker? What happens if GG turns out to be an absolute star? Because I think we'd all agree Kyogo, who is a star definitely, is best as a striker, and Ange isn't going to play two up front, I don't think. So what do we do if we end up with brilliant Kyogo and brilliant GG? Who plays up front?
I think actually the defence issue that we talked about kind of sorts this, because if you have, you know, Julian coming back and he's playing just as well as Carter Vickers and Euan Starfelt, Postecoglou's played the three at the back before. He did it for Australia, and I think we have the players, especially, you know, you mentioned Juranovic, his mobility to get up and down the pitch. We've got different options at left back. I don't know who the first choice is going to be in a couple of months to come. You know, I don't rule out a front two entirely, because I think, you know, that's something that could happen maybe for next season, but it's something in Postecoglou's back pocket, I would say. It's a formation he's comfortable with. But yeah, it's a good problem to have. Going from, you know, kind of relying on Ayeti, God bless him, we've gone from that to, you know, having all these options up front. It's amazing, and I think Kyogo will get enough goals and assists coming off the left. I think he'll be happy to do it. It'll just be a case of adapting for him, but whether or not, you know, that means we have to get Dice and Maeda, that poses another problem. But it's good to go from having absolutely nobody in the squad to people fighting for positions. It's great, so long may it last. But I thought he took his finish really well. The reception he got when he was announced beforehand as well was fantastic, I thought. So no, just very impressed.
You get any thoughts on that whole debate about a striker?
I think it's just a case of embracing it. Like, who wouldn't want to have options? And if it says a lot about the strength of this Celtic team, or the potential, that if you've got a guy like Kyogo not able to get in the team because GG's keeping them out, why should we be complaining about that at all? That's only a good issue to have. If something's not working, fling on Kyogo. It's, you know, I've really got nothing to criticise about that.
It's my perfect brain. I don't really deal in kind of, you know, half measures and that time. I like everything to be perfect, but I suppose we play so many games in different environments, and you know, we play 2 games every week, and we will do from, I think, November after the next international break all the way through to March. You know, bad pitches, it's maybe good to have different options, but I just always love to have, you know, what's our best team in mind. Right, 2 things I want to speak about. Nick Walsh, we've not had second viewing on any of these incidents. They kind of link together, but there was 2 penalty claims, obviously before the one we did get. One on Giakoumakis in the first half, which I'd like to see again. He gave a free kick the other way. Second half, there was one, the goalkeeper Xander Clark on Jota, I think. Jota didn't really claim for it, which always suggests to me there maybe wasn't much in it. And then, can we class it as a brawl?
A stramash.
I'm going with brawl. I don't know what the terms are for a brawl, but I think there was at least half a dozen players getting wired in at that stage.
What about that particular brawl? I just want to say what was good about that is the fact that when Chris Kane was kicking CCV on the pitch, all the players went over. There was none of this.
Even Joe Hart was
there was none of this passive, let's just let the ref deal with it, or there was none of this standing back. Our players went right over to deal with it, and it was a show of right togetherness as well. And you know what? You are going to be up against some right horrible teams in that league, and St Johnstone can dish it out, and that's, again, I'm not putting the boot in, be a bit of pun there, but no, I mean, we have to sort of stand up to teams like that as well, and it was good to see that all our players were getting right in about it, and they were all fighting for each other. And
quite literally,
yeah.
I thought he was very lucky to stay on the park.
Hugely.
After that, Mikey Johnson looked really good again when he came on. Who wants to take that?
I'll let Euan do it. I'll be gushing for half an hour here.
He's a class player. And I think it's a bit like, I can't really add to what we talked about with Jackie McNamara. I'd almost forgotten how good he was. He's been out that long, and I just the freedom he's going to get under Postecoglou, he's just going to be a completely reborn player. And again, another option, another guy you can probably play on either wing if he wants to. I thought he was excellent again. Cameo role. Hit the post. He's getting his minutes. He's getting his fitness back. I'd almost, as I say, almost kind of forgotten he was an option. Then you bring him back in. James Forrest still to come back. I thought he was sound. He's a player I've always liked.
Dare I ask, Stevie?
No, just skip on. Everyone doesn't want to hear my thoughts on Michael Johnstone.
Stevie is the biggest fan of Mr.
I've
Michael.
always stood by it when everyone was saying he's done, he's finished, he's away. I've always stood by Michael Johnstone and thought, no, there's you've got to still give him a chance, because he's so exciting to watch. Every time I see Michael Johnstone, he's just such an exhilarating player, and I'm always excited watching him. And when he came on today, he was great as well. It would have been brilliant if he scored, but he was just been dead threatening. He was been dead direct again. Yeah. And this is interesting. I don't know if you know, but on the latest Gig Pod said we did so as well, that after the game at Motherwell, I think it was Anton McElhone, the fitness coach, was doing a lot of work with Michael Johnstone after the game. And then when you saw him against Ferencváros, how fresh and energetic he looked. He was very sharp. And I don't know, like, Michael Johnstone wasn't getting that support in previous regimes. He seems to be very supported now, and I hope he goes and takes his opportunity. I hope we can see him on Wednesday. Maybe he'll start, I don't know, but he's certainly been right in Angie's plans, and that's great.
It's nice to have options, isn't it?
I was just going to say, it's quite a long way away from the treatment he got from Neil Lennon when he was...
Who? That, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Our former glorious leader. I got in trouble for calling Ange our glorious leader by a disgruntled fan. Said it was too like North Korea. Anything else from today, lads? Anything else you want to get off your chest? We've got the best goals against record in the league. I think us and Dundee United have both only conceded 6 goals, which is quite impressive after 10 or so games. We've cut the gap at the top today to 1 point. Hearts drew. Dundee United continued their really good run. I think they're 3 wins in a row now. They beat Motherwell 2-1 today. It's looking a bit better, the league table. But I just think Celtic just need to keep winning. You know, we've had 3 wins now back for the international break, 3 clean sheets, all 2-0 victories. I just think the great thing for everyone, hopefully, is that there's so much more to come from this team. I just think we're motoring nicely, but we've already dished out a couple of 6-0s and a 5-0, I think, this season. But we are going to, hit a team for a lot of goals this season when we're fully in our groove. It might not happen over the winter months. We might have to wait till the spring. But I think it's looking good, lads. Final comment, Stevie.
I do. I'll just maybe err on the side of caution as well, that things are going okay now, and actually they're very impressive now. But I think it's important as well that if we do have a wee blip and say I don't think we will personally, but if we do, we drop points on Wednesday, there's a poor performance. It's not a case of everyone going from one extreme now to the other, in a case of, oh no, he's useless, get him out, blah. It's just a case of sticking with this team. They saw what they can do, they can build up momentum, and we'll just have to build it up again after it. But there are going to be some hitches along the way, and I think what I'm seeing for this Celtic team now is they seem to learn from the mistakes, which is good. And I'm hoping there's no any sort of setbacks to come. But if there is, then it's a case of not panicking, because I think this team will learn from it. And as you saw against Ferencváros as well, there's now there's no naivety from them. They look as if every game they're understanding each other more, they're communicating more, they're being more vocal, and they're gaining experience with each other along the way. So I'm impressed. I like how it's going. And look, I'm not complaining.
And if Stevie's not complaining, we're doing well. Euan, final comment?
Shout out to the Green Brigade. It's 5 years.
That's
was
exactly
it?
what I wanted to say. That's amazing.
We've worked together now a while. We're just symbiotic. It's lovely. Shout out to them. I thought the display was really good.
Can I just say, if anyone didn't know, there was a incident today in section 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And
first half, I think.
And Ange was actually watching as well. I clocked Ange watching a lot of it. And you guys know this, the audience might not, but it turns out that somebody actually fell and tumbled all the way down the stairs. And everyone around was screaming for a medic and everything. And there was a bit, eerie sort of moment, wasn't on the game.
Especially after Newcastle,
yeah, of course. And then it turns out the guy got up, started laughing, and just got back on it. So a happy ending.
Yeah,
a comic tale at Celtic Park.
Yeah. Green Brigade 5-year anniversary. I'm not quite sure why it was today, because it's not 5 years since the standing section opened, because it opened at the start of the season. But it was brilliant, great tifo today as well.
It's a lovely tifo, yeah.
Favourite moment of the standing section so far?
Oof. Don't want to get too political on this.
Like Tony Blair.
Anthony Blair to you. No, I mean, what everything I've done for the Glasgow Derbies has been pretty spectacular, I would say. I like the political ones, and we can't really talk about that. So.
I feel like I end every video with one of you making a political comment and me having to apologise. Listen, well done Green Brigade / North Curve, well done Ange, well done Celtic, well done that guy who plummeted down the stairs and is alright, hopefully you're not too sore. Well done Barbacus in Glasgow, Merchant City for having us in, really do appreciate them having us in at kind of short notice. We hopefully will be back at Babbity Bowster from next week onwards, although Glasgow's a bit kind of strange at the moment with the big COP26 summit. Well done all of you for watching the channel, hope you've enjoyed this. Have a lovely Saturday night. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not done it yet, and we'll speak to you very soon.